Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to just come on and give you guys a book haul on some of the books that I have bought in July, along with reading a lot of the books that I am supposed to read in the month of July. And also, y'all, I will be so happy when the July wrap-up come, because I have read most of the books that was on my July TBR, but also I have did a lot of mood reading. And when I did my last video, I did ask a question on would y'all like to see some videos on me just mood reading, and I did get a couple of answers that, you know, yes, y'all would like to see how I mood read, what I mood read with, because like on a lot of the TBR vlogs that I put on, like I don't share all of the books that I actually read that is not on that TBR. So with me mood reading, that will give me a chance to show you guys like all the books that I read for that month, just in case if they're not on my TBR. So also guys, on my Instagram and my TikTok page, I try to share the books that I read as far as mood reading that was not on any of my month's TBR. So if you check out my TikTok page and my Instagram page, you will be able to see some of the other books that I have actually read throughout the month, throughout the year, whatever, however you want to put it. So make sure you go and check those channels out, subscribe or follow me on those channels, so that you will be able to see some of the things, or most of the things that I do that's bookish or a little bit of lifestyle that I don't show you whenever I vlog on YouTube. So guys, remember, there's a subscription button down there. If you click on it and do everything all the YouTubers actually do, you will be subscribed to Yolanda's books, and you will not miss out on what I do as far as book shopping, reading vlogs, any kind of bookish thing that comes to mind or that I actually enjoy doing. So with that being said guys, I just want to get straight into this video. I want to give you guys a book haul on some of the books that I have bought in the month of July. Alright guys, I did my skincare this morning. If you can see, like I have like really shiny skin. I like did my skincare this morning, and what my skincare consisted of was, of course, like I washed my face with a gel foam cleanser. I did not exfoliate, but I did use a honey mask on my face for about 20 minutes, and then I used a couple, I just used a cream and a serum just to put over my face, and then I used my under eye patches to do my face care this morning. And yesterday I actually washed my hair, and I usually do my wash and goes, as y'all already know, but I decided this time to just, you know, like wear my natural afro. So I got some work to do to it. I just washed it yesterday. It just completely dried today, so I will moisturize it with some of my products, twist it up, and then just like pick it out in the morning for when I go to work. So I will be actually wearing my afro for like a couple of weeks or whatever, just because I just miss the afro look. So but the first thing I want to do guys is show you guys the books that I got from my public library. I have been going to the public library, and I have not had any self-control. No self-control, because, you know, of course the library, they have books that are very up to date. They have books from, I would just say, like from February all the way till July. on their shelves, like new books. And that's what I love about the library, because like if there's some books that I actually wanted to try to read but I don't know, or I feel like I don't want to actually buy the book from the bookstore, I can go to the public library and see if they actually have that book, and I can check that book out with them, read that book. And if I feel like I want to have that book on my shelf in hand because I will read it again, then I can just go and pick it up from a bookstore. And so let's go ahead and get started with this vlog. One of those books that I am speaking of is Expiration Dates by Rebecca Seller. Not quite sure if that's how you say her name or not, but I have been looking at this book at the bookstores. I've seen mixed reviews about this book, so I was like, I just really don't know if I want to pay the money to buy this book. So I did see it at the public library, so I picked it up. And what I mean, y'all, is they have the newer books. See, this one came out in the 4th month and it has like a new book. So like they do have books that just came out that everybody is ranting and raving about, book top books, all kinds of books at the library. So y'all don't slip on your library. So I decided to check out the expiration dates, and it says, I'm just read y'all a little bit of the paragraphs that's on the synopsis. I'm not going to read y'all all of them, the whole paragraph. So this one says, Daphne Bell believes the universe has a plan for her. Every time she meets a new man, she receives a slip of paper with his name and a number on it. The exact number of time they will be together. That's so weird. That would be scary for me, y'all. The papers told her she'd spend 3 days with Martin in Paris, 5 weeks with Noah in San Francisco, and 3 months with Hugo, her ex-boyfriend turned best friend. Daphne has been receiving the numbered papers for over 20 years, always wondering when there might be one without an expiration date. Finally, the night of a blind date at her favorite Los Angeles restaurant, there's only a name, Jake. Y'all, so it's like she's seeking love. Like she wants love and she's seeking love. And like these papers that she's getting, she's hoping that one day she actually gets one that does not have an expiration date. And so that means she will be with that person like for the rest of her life. I think that is so cute. So that is the reason why I picked up the expiration dates, to read it, just to see if I would want to purchase this one from a bookstore or just read it and just give it back to the public library. So this one, Swift and Saddles by Layla Sage. I actually bought book 1 and it is on my shelf. I have not read that book yet. I have no idea why I got book 2 because I have not even read book 1 yet. But my plan is to read book 1 and renew this one because I think this one is due on the 19th, which is tomorrow. So I need to go ahead on, no, not tomorrow, tomorrow's 17th, in a couple of days. I need to go ahead on and renew this one so that I can go ahead on and read book 1 and then try to get into book 2. I've heard mixed reviews about this one as well. Some people say that they really like book 1, but book 2 was just like, you know, nothing compared to book 1. Like they don't even understand why they made a book 2. So I am very interested in reading this book. And when I picked up book 1, y'all, I felt like I wanted to be like in my cowgirl era. I was like, this book is just giving me such cowgirl, hat, boots, shorts, you know, just a cowgirl outfit. It just really did put me in that cowgirl era. So this one says, the last thing Ada Hart needs is a man to take care of her. Not anymore. After falling out of her interior design program and the disaster that was her short-lived marriage, Ada has clawed her way up from rock bottom. Now the only person she trusts in her is herself, and that has gotten her farther than ever before. She has her own business and one of the largest ranches in Wyoming. Just hired her for the most important project of her career. So y'all, another thing, believe that really brought me to these books is because I am a country girl. I was born and raised in the country. I love country life, and my favorite animal actually is a horse. Like, y'all, I am obsessed with horses. I love horses so much. If I could get me a lot of land and get me a house built or something like that, if I don't have anything on my land, it will be like a dog and horses. Like, horses have been my thing ever since I was a little girl. So Swift and Saddled is also a book that I got from my public library. Excited to read that one. The next one is The No Girlfriend Rule by Christian Rondale. I've never heard of this author. I've never seen this book. I noticed that this book actually came out last month, because right there it has, oh, y'all can see that it has a little 6. So this book came out last month. Like I said, I've never seen this author's name before, but I was excited about picking up this book. It looks to me as though it might be a queer book, and I really do enjoy reading those types of books. Sometimes romance is right in character. As y'all see, I have had an attempt to start reading this book. I have my bookmark there, but I just have not gotten to it yet. It says, No Girlfriend, No Problem. Hollis isn't trying to get a girlfriend to get a girl. She's just trying to get by. For a fat broke girl with anxiety, the start of senior year is enough to worry about. So apparently that right there is Holly. And besides she already has a boyfriend, Chris. Their relationship isn't particularly exciting, but it's comfortable and familiar, and Hollis is how hopeful it can survive beyond senior year. To prove she's a girlfriend worth keeping, Holly's decision learn Chris's favorite tabletop role-playing game, Secrets and Sorority, but his friends, no girlfriends at the table rule means she'll need to find her own group if she wants in. Enter Gloria and her all-girls game of S&S crowded around the table in Gloria's cozy Ohio apartment. 6 girls battle twisted magic games and becomes fast friends outside it. With her character as armor, Hollis starts to believe that maybe she can be more than just fat, anxious, and a little lost. But then an in-game crush develops between Hollis' character and the band played by charismatic Annie, whose wide, cocky grin makes Hollis' stomach flutter. As their gentle flirting sparks into something deeper, Hollis is no longer what she wants, or if she's content to play pretend. So y'all, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is actually like a queer book, like that. And actually, y'all, that was my first time reading the inside of that book. But to me, it seems like she has a boyfriend, but I think she has some kind of insecurities going on, and like her boyfriend's group did not want her to be involved in their group, so she ended up getting to another group and actually ended up having feelings for this girl. That is my thought on this book. So I am very highly interested in starting that book and getting through that book. This, y'all, this is one that I have periodically seen on people's reading vlogs, on their book hauls and things like that, and I picked it up, and it came out in March. So I picked it up, and I've been looking at it, and I'm not sure if I even want to read it anymore, so I might return this one and just don't even worry about checking it out again. But y'all let me know down in the comments if I should. But it's called Come and Get It by Kylie Reed. Such a fun age. I don't know what drew me to this book. I have actually no idea. So I just thought it probably was an interesting book to pick up and read. It has like 300 and something pages in it, so not a fairly long book. And it says it's 2017 at the University of Arkansas, and Millie Cousin, a super senior resident assistant in Belgrade dormitory, just wants to graduate, get a job, and buy a house. So when Athena Paul, a writer and visiting professor, itches for her next big topic offer, offers Millie an easy yet unusual opportunity for them to help each other further their own interests. Millie naturally jumps at the chance, but Millie's starry-eyed side hustle quickly becomes jeopardized by a lonely transfer student, unruly resident. Both Millie and Athena are forced to question just how much of themselves they are willing to trade to get what they want. So that's why I say, y'all, I don't know if I really want to keep this book and read this book. Y'all just let me know down in the comments. Have y'all read this book? Is this book worth keeping and trying to read? I have actually not looked on Goodreads to see what the ratings is for that book, I don't think. So that's why I was like, out of all the bunches that I got here of these books, I don't know. Now that one is just not catching my eye. So drop down in the comments and let me know. Have y'all read that book? Should I keep that book? Is that book worth reading? Alright guys, so moving right along to the next set of books that I bought. These books either came from BAM or Barnes and Noble, and I think probably Walmart as well. So I'm gonna just jump right into it, y'all. The weather seemed like the sun comes out, gets really pretty, then it just sneaks back behind a cloud, then you hear thunder. So I don't have any idea what this weather is doing today. But y'all, this book I have been looking at and looking at and looking at is Grown by Tiffany Jackson. I think I read The Weight of Blood by Tiffany Jackson, and I actually did enjoy that book. The plot, the characters, the narrator that read her book on Audible, the way the dialogue in the book was set up was just so beautiful to me. Like, I really did enjoy her book. That was the first book that I read by that author, so I had been seeing people talk about this book, Grown, and I decided to pick this one up and see what it's about. I just love the cover of this book. It just brings just so much to the Black culture with a picture like this on front of a book. I just really love it. And I'm not sure what this book is about, but I do notice that I did say that I only read one book by her, and that was The Weight of Blood. But I noticed that she also wrote Monday's Not Coming, and I actually do have that book on my shelf. So I have a couple of books of this author. I just have not actually read those books. So I am very interested in reading Grown by Tiffany Jackson. Oh y'all, I have been eyeing this book for quite some time. And yesterday when I picked this book up, it was a Barnes and Noble pick, so you know how that goes. So Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, I'm hoping that's how you say that name. I picked this one up because I actually got a good deal on it, and because I have been hearing so many things about this book, and because I have just been wanting to get this book. And what I think I've actually been waiting on is for this book to actually go to a paperback book, because I just did not, I was so on edge about this book. I just did not want to pay the hardback price of this book. So I did pick it up yesterday. Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and it says, on a bitter cold day in December of his junior year, At Harvard, Sam exits a subway car and sees Aim, the hurdles of people walking on the platform. Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she doesn't hear him, but then she turns and a game begins. A legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrows money, begs favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster inch ago. Overnight, the world is theirs. Spanning 30 years from Cambridge to Venice Beach, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a dazzling novel that examines the multifarious nature of identity, disability, failure, and redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, to love. Yet, yes, it is a love story, but it is not one you have read before. And y'all, it does not sound like it's going to be a love story that I have read before. So with that being said, it kind of like has gotten my attention even more, because the synopsis on the back of the book kind of got me like, what? Well, what is this book about? Like, what is this book about? Until I got to the bottom and it said it's a love story. But I want to see what kind of things stem from this love story that they have, because it just sounds so weird. And y'all, this book is so pretty. It has the sprayed edges, and even on the inside of the actual cover, like, it is a very beautiful book. And that is something that will actually draw me to a book, even if the book is not good. I think is the sprayed edges and like the special editions of the books. And y'all, before I move on, I have something I want to ask you guys. So I am actually trying to get into The Haunting of Adeline. Not The Haunting, I think that's book 2. The book 1 is The Haunting, Haunting of Adeline. So I have it on my Kindle Unlimited, which is fine. I'm gonna read it on my Kindle Unlimited, but I seen it in the bookstore and I was like, you know, I'm a physical book girly as well as a Kindle girly. So like at times I like to have that physical book in my hand. So I noticed that there was not a price on the book, and I was like, oh well, maybe. At first I didn't think anything of it. Then I kept looking at books, and I looked back at the back of that book and I still did not find a price on the inside, nowhere. And my first thought was that, y'all, most of the time when they don't have prices on books, it's like these books are expensive. But it was a paperback book, so I was like, it can't be that expensive because it's a paperback book. So when I went up, I ended up picking up Yoke by Mary, whatever her last name is. I ended up picking up this book. I had been seeing this book on Book Talk and everything, and I just thought the cover of it was just so pretty. So I ended up picking up this book along with Haunting Adeline. So those were the 2 books that I was getting from the bookstore that day. I went up to the cashier. She rang this one and The Haunting of Adeline up, and it came out to $45 for 2 books. I was like, hold it, how much is that book? It's a paperback book, y'all, and it was $28.99. I was floored. I thought that was insane for a paperback book. I don't know if that book was ever a hardback book, because I'm not really that into the fantasy world. As y'all can see, like, this right here is my only, pretty much my only fantasy area that I have on all of my bookshelves, pretty much. But I was like, no ma'am, I'm not gonna get that book. So that's when I put that book back and I got this book, and then got a good deal on Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. But y'all, paperback books, some of them, aren't they that expensive? Like, I thought hardback books were that expensive. When it came down to a paperback book, I thought $18.99, $19 at least. Like, I did not know that a paperback book will be almost 30 bucks. But I was like, no, I'm not getting that. I have it on Kindle Unlimited. I'll just read it on my Kindle Scribe or my Kindle Paperwhite and be just fine. And that's why I think I will actually be reading that series from. Unless I can find that book like on Amazon or Book Outlet or something for like way lesser than $30. I was like, no ma'am, I'm not getting that book. So guys, I got Yolk by y'all, it is a net in here and it is driving me freaking nuts. So I got Yolk by this author. Like I said, y'all, I thought the book was just so cute. And it says Jane and Jane are nothing alike. Jane and June are nothing alike. June is 3 years younger, a classic firstborn narc with a vile finance job and a soulless apartment. Jane, on the other hand, is another emotional, stunned, self-obsessed crybaby who lives in squalor, has an exotic taste in men, and needs to get her ass to class. One stick is these sisters who moved to Salu, to San Antonio, and finally New York don't want anything to do with each other until June gets cancer and Jane becomes the only one who can help her. Flung together by sickness and bound by family secrets, with what will the sisters learn more about themselves and each other than they're willing to confront. Very, very, I would say, dry synopsis that they have on the back of this book. But if they don't do anything, they will sell somebody on the cover of this book. So I'm very excited to read this one. It is not really that long. I think it has like just 300, almost close to 400 something pages in it. The chapters look fairly short, not that long. I like the wording in the book. The wording in this book is not super small, and then there's like a lot of commas, a lot of short sentences, so I know that those are conversations. So that is what helps me to get through a book when a book looks like that page, because I know that there's a lot of dialogue in this book. So very excited to read Yolk. And guys, one of my subscribers, Lonesome Dove, I want to say is your name, girl, but I call her Val. She gives me such great book recommendations, and I picked up this book when it was buy one get one at BAM. One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole. I picked up this book, had a little book haul or something about it, and she actually saw that book and she recommended this book to me, When No One Is Watching, by the same author. I went to BAM to try to find this book. I went to Target to try to find this book. I went to a couple of different places to try to find this book. They did not have it in store. I was going to order it off of Amazon, but then I found it at Barnes & Noble. So I was so excited to get this book. Shaughnessy, she has read this book and she speaks highly of this book and this author. So When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, I am so ready to dig into this book. I actually have an audio that goes with this book, and I am mood reading this book sometime very soon. It says Sydney Green is Brooklyn born and raised, but her beloved neighborhood seems to change every time she blinks. Condos are up in weeds, for sale signs are popping up overnight, and neighbors whose she's known all her life are disappearing. To hold on to her community's past and present, Sydney channels her frustration into a walking tour and finds an unlikely and unwanted assistant in one of the new areas, arrivals of the block, her neighbor Theo. But Sydney and Theo's deep dive into history quickly becomes a dazzlingly descent into paranormal and fear. Their neighbors may not have moved to the suburbs after all, and the push to revitalize the community may be more deadly than advertised. When does coincidence become conspiracy? Where do people go when gentrification pushes them out? Can Sydney and Theo trust each other or themselves long enough to find out before they too disappear? Y'all, now that sounds like, if I read a thriller, which I know I am a contemporary romance girl, like I love the romance, the light fluffy reads, those types of books, because that's just the type of personality that I have. But when I can get my hands on a good thriller, that is just like a bonus for me. And this right here sounds like it's going to be an awesome thriller book. So very excited to read When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. And the last two books that I got from BAM, which is Books A Million. I have been looking at this book for quite some time. I think the second book to this one is called Foxglove, but it is Belladonna, I'm sorry, by Adeline Grace. I don't know if I'm saying that name right or not, but when it was on the buy one get one half off at BAM, I thought it was the perfect time for me to pick this book up, also with it being $11.99. And y'all, like I said, the Foxglove, hope y'all can see that, it is another book of hers that she actually wrote. So I am very interested in reading this book. The cover itself speaks for this book as well. And the synopsis on the back of this book is pretty good. It says, for as long as Signa has been alive, the people in her life have fallen like stars. So very, very interested in reading this book. And then I just had to make a decision on another book because it was almost time for me to go to work that day. So I wanted something like in a good price range, because that day I just did not want to spend a lot of money on books. And I wonder if y'all can hear the thunder. Like, it's actually raining right now, and y'all, it is the perfect time to just snuggle or just curl up in your bedroom or in your reading area, in your egg chair or whatever, and read a stinking book with your blinds up or down and your windows up. Like, I love this time of the day whenever it starts raining, because I like to just get my comforter, get whatever I'm going to read, audio, listen to it, and just listen to the rain along with reading a book. And over 15% of the time I will finish about one or two books, and then I will be asleep. So, but the second one that I got in the last book of this haul is called Wild About You by Caitlin Hill. I have never heard of this author. I have never seen this book, but like I said, I was in a rush and I had to pick something, and this was the one that actually caught my eye. It says, Natalie Hart has always been loud, unfiltered, and unapologetically herself. But then comes her freshman year of college when she loses her merit scholarship and gains one pesky little anxiety disorder. Hesitant to take out more student loans, Natalie decides to shoot her shot and apply to appear on Wild Adventures. I did not know that it was back there. A popular outdoorsy reality show. Oh God, y'all, it's a show. I was thinking about Wild Adventures, like the theme park in Valdosta. Sure, Natalie prefers her 12-step skincare routine to roughing it up in the Appalachian Trail while competing in challenges against other college students, but the scholarship prize money is calling her name. High risk, high reward, right? So I don't know, y'all, this might be kind of interesting. It's an outdoorsy themed book. and it seems like it's going to be like kind of a, I don't know if I would say well, I probably would say a light fluffy read, y'all, because it says here two total opposites, one race outdoors. The trail to true love doesn't come with a map. So this is pretty much like a true love trope book. And the other thing that really kind of like drew my attention to this book is because she has her little vlogging camera, and us content creators, you know how we feel about seeing books or seeing other people who do the same thing that we do. So I ended up picking up this one, Wow About You by Caitlin Hill. And y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but it is just the weather for me to just get into my bed, get into my cozy chair, and just chill. Oh my goodness, y'all, I just love this type of weather. Let me show y'all. I don't even know if y'all can see that, but it is just a rainy day in Georgia. And I love this time of the day when it gets to raining like this. So guys, that is the end of this vlog. I just wanted to come on and give you guys a quick book haul on some of the books that I bought during this month of July. So I am going to cut this short. I am going to cuddle up with my bear, my pillow, and my books, and I am going to enjoy this weather. So guys, until the next vlog, which is on either a Wednesday or a Sunday, I will see y'all next time. Bye guys.